Hello everyone, welcome to my discussion. I am Shabhi from Shiksha Dias, currently studying in Shahjahan University of Science and Technology. Today I am going to discuss the topic about first generation model of currency crisis. So let's get started. Here is my contents, which will cover through this topic. Firstly, we will discuss introduction or what is the first generation model of currency crisis. Next, we will discuss the assumptions of the first generation model of currency crisis. After that, the main concept or key concept of the first generation model of currency crisis we will discuss. And lastly, the criticism of the first generation model of currency crisis we will discuss. Introduction. So, what is first generation model of currency crisis? Before knowing that, we have to know what is currency crisis. A currency crisis happens when a country's money loses its value very quickly. Currency crisis caused by various things like inflation, economic problems, or sudden changes in the world's economy. So the first generation model of currency crisis states that the government operates a fixed exchange rate or runs a budget deficit financed by domestic credit expansion. So increase in the supply of money moves downward interest rates that leads to capital outflow and pressure for a devaluation of the currency. It is necessary for the central bank to defend the currency by using its foreign exchange reserve. At a certain point, the reserves reach a critically low level and a speculative attack is made on the currency, forcing a devaluation. The model was built upon an article by Paul Krugman and extended by Flatt and J. Garber. The model developed in 1970s. Assumptions. So the first assumption of the first generation model of currency crisis is the perfect competition in the economy. This means that all market participants are price takers and there are no monopolies or significant market power. The second assumption is domestic and foreign goods are perfect substitute. This implies that consumers and producers treat domestic and foreign goods as identical or perfect substitute. The third assumption is perfect capital mobility. This assumption implies that the capital can flow freely in and out of the country without any restrictions or barrier. Last assumption of the model is uncovered interest parity and purchasing power parity always holds. So, what is uncovered interest parity? Uncovered interest parity means that the difference in interest rates between the two countries should be equal to the expected change in the exchange rate. And purchasing power parity is a theory that suggests that in the absence of transportation cost and other frictions, identical goods should have the same price when expressed in a common currency. So UEP and PPP holds at all times. Key concepts. Money demand is assumed to be fixed at some constant value and the exchange rate is assumed to be fixed so that S equals to 0, where S is the rate of change of the exchange rate. The first assumption of the model is that the money market is kept in continual equilibrium so that MDT equal to MST denoted by equation 1, where MDT equals to log of money demand and MST equals to log of the fixed money supply. The demand for real money is assumed to be inversely related to the domestic rate. Here, MDT minus P equals to minus sigma R, denoted by equation 2. Here, P equals to log of the domestic price level and R equals to domestic interest rate. The log of the money supply is given by the log linearization of the domestic credit and foreign exchange results. So, MST equals to D plus R, denoted by equation 3. Here D equals to log of domestic credit and R equals to log of the inverse component of the monetary base. So the exchange rate is assumed to follow purchasing power parity so that S equals to P minus P star. This equation denoted by 4. P here P equals to log of the domestic price level and P star equals to log of the foreign price level. The uncovered interest parity is assumed also hold. So R equals to R star plus R E S dot, denoted by equation 5. Here R equals to domestic interest rate and R star equal to foreign interest rate. Since money demand is a constant, any increase in domestic rate will, as in the monetary model, lead to a fall in the reserve of an equivalent amount. Mainly, the rate of fall of reserves R dot is same the rate of increase of the domestic rate. So R dot equals to minus mu. This equation denoted by equation 6. And finally, if the exchange rate is fixed at S dot and E into S dot equal 0, the foreign interest rate R star equals to R, and the foreign price level is fixed at P star. We can substitute the equation to obtain S dot equals to R plus D minus P star plus sigma into R star, denoted by equation 7. So here the explanation of the equation of 6 is that if P star and R star are fixed, increase in domestic credit lead to equivalent falls in foreign exchange reserves and no change in the money supply. If foreign exchange reserves are falling at the same rate of the domestic credit is expanding, at some point they will reach a critically low level. If the central bank announces that once reserves hit a certain level or critically low level, they will abandon the fixed exchange rate, then a speculative attack is a foregone conclusion. Criticism. There are several criticisms of the first generation model. The first one is the unclear of the role of the foreign exchange reserve. It is quite unclear why the level of foreign exchange reserves should be so crucial to the timing of a speculative attack, since governments could always resist an attack on their currencies by other means, such as raising the domestic interest rate. The second one is the role of fixed exchange rate in the policy of printing money. It is not all clear why a government that is committed to a fixed exchange rate regime would wish to pursue a policy of printing money to finance its fiscal deficit that it knows will lead to a speculative attack on its currency. The last one is empirical problem in assumptions. There was also an empirical problem in that some of the recent crises were not characterized by large fiscal deficits that had been monitored as assumed in the first nation model. A further empirical problem is that in some of the recent crises, there was not a secular fall in the foreign exchange reserves as predicted by the first nation models. So this is all of first nation model of currency crisis. Thanks for watching my video, and don't forget to hit subscribe button, press the like button, and if you find this video insightful, let me know in the comment box. Thank you everyone.